Hey, buddy, you don't belong in this country. How about you go home? All right? Justin Trudeau's ruining this country. You all know this. Justin Trudeau's ruining this country. Letting these people in. They don't do anything useful. They take all our jobs. I've been out of work for like a year and a half.
We didn't expect anything like that. Monybany, I'm so sorry. I apologize. Has it been removed? Nigel, is everything okay? Can you listen to you? Okay, I apologize for that. I'm really not sure what happened there.
Is that Minyang Dau's dad?
Yeah, why?
Should I ask him?
I dare you.
That's okay. What do you want to know?
Mr. Dau, why do both Minyang and Kaur have your name as their middle name?
In South Sudan, we don't have the system of last name. My first name, Monybany, is given. My second name is my father's name. My third name is my grandfather's name. My fourth name is my great-grandfather's name, and so on and so forth.
So how many names do you have?
My name is Monybany Minyang Dau, Chol, Nyoga, Jing, and I can go all the way to 10.
Tell us about South Sudan.
Would you like to know about South Sudan?
Yes.
I will read you for my road. I'm from the mountain Miyo, from the sorghum, Nile and fish. I'm from the Tar River. I'm from the trees, the sugar cane. I'm from the cow and bull. I'm from Malek, Minyang and Dau. I'm from the Kerry, from the sheepdom. I'm from the only one and longer. I'm from South Sudan, fish and vegetables. I'm from a strong woman, the leader, my father, the Rocky Mother. I'm from the village. If I was a kid just like you, no, my childhood was so different.
Forgive me, Mother. Brush away your grief. Our country needs me. Don't you hear its call? The time is now to leave. The time is now to meet my fate. Shed no more tears. Oh, Mother, don't you see? There is no turning back to say goodbye. The time is now to go. It hurts to know I might not be the cane of your old age, but I'm your little boy no more. I'm 9. I'm old enough for war. I'll fight to bring back lively the laughter of the village girls, the song of our youth, so carefree and merry. I'll end this heavy silence of the widows, these troubled orphan cries. This is why I must leave all I love. This river I know, and these meadows I'll miss. This is why I must leave all behind. The sweet sounding bells of the oxen, peacefully grazing on unending fields. This is why I leave you, distressed and in sorrow, down on your knees, humming within your broken heart, a constant prayer for your son's return. Forgive me, Mother, for my lack of strength to tarry long enough to say goodbye, to hug your hurting heart and dry the bitter tide of tears, to kiss these weary hands of yours, these hands that brought me up. But, Mother, do not lose your faith, for I know that this gun in my hands will make me a giant. And oh, Mother, then I know I can set everything right. I'll return home a victor, holding our freedom, dear injured bird, in the palm of my hand. So, Mother, don't cry. I'm leaving in hope that one day I'll restore the joyful sounds of our village, that one day I'll give back the laughter to the girls and the songs to the young. I'm leaving home that one day I'll return. Mother, pray for that day, to bring me, your lost son, to you.
like you that let him into this country without even thinking about it. You scream these people.
Stop interrupting me, sir. Your racist comments are wrong.
Sir, you don't appreciate your racist comments. I agree. I'll call the police and I'll...
There's no need to call the police. I'll take care of that. I'll take care of it.
No. You just touched me. Forget about what I say. You just touched me, okay? Somebody call the police on him. That's assault right there.
That's okay, relax. I won't tell you anymore. What is so upsetting you about my story?
All right. Well, for one thing, those kids are 10, 12 years old? You think you want me to believe that those kids just chose to go to war, that you chose to go to war? They brainwashed those kids, right? They drugged them, they kidnapped them. That's how that happens.
That was not the case in South Sudan, my friend. I was not kidnapped. I had two choices to make. Either stay in the village, be kidnapped by the government militia, turn to their slave, train, turn back to my country, and shoot my own people in my own village. The second choice was to join the rebels, fight with dignity, and die with it. And I choose to die with dignity. Mike, please.
What? Are you even... This is the stupidest thing. Are you kidding? Why would you give me a microphone?
We're Canadian. You have a freedom of speech.
You're all right. I got the microphone now. What is this? I don't even know how to attach this thing. Oh my gosh. Does this go on here?
That's anywhere there.
All right.
Yeah.
Somebody like you gets into this country, right? You've been trained to be a soldier. You hurt people, right? And then you come here, right? And what are you going to do? You're going to do what you're trained to do. You're going to hurt people. That's how we let terrorists into this country. You know, you probably weren't screened. And here we are. We've got you here. So, you know what? I bet you the audience wants to know. Did you hurt people?
You know, we could have a conversation. Please have my seat.
You sit me down. All right, whatever.
Please sit. Someone give me a chair, please. Thank you.
So did you hurt anybody?
I was 9 years old, and I was a bodyguard of a commander. The commander and a civilian, and another bodyguard who was my superior, they was having a conversation, just like you and I. The other bodyguard gave me a stick, and he told me to escort out that civilian. If he did not listen to me, he told me to beat him.
Somebody's telling a kid to go and beat an adult. You people just have no respect.
This man was
Completely
about 40 years old. I started beating him, and it was an emotional move. And I kept beating him in the back. And I could even see in the line where I was hitting my stick on his back. He kept walking. When he was outside, he stopped. He looked at me, and he said, "You could be my child." I dropped his stick, I turned back, and I went inside.
So he said you could be my child after you were beating on him? And
He changed me.
So what changed?
I thought about my father.
Uh-huh.
I could never hit my father. I've never hit anyone before. That act from that man changed me inside. I've never been involved in any abusive treatment just like that, ever again.
That does get me thinking, you know, here in Canada, if I try and discipline somebody else's kids, they're going to beat the crap out of me, right? You can't say anything to anybody's kids anymore. And this guy says a few words to you and you changed?
In Africa, it takes a village to raise a child. And I was raised by a village.
All right, so you might have learned one lesson, but I don't think all of you people are good people just because you learned a lesson.
Just acknowledge you people are not good people either.
Yeah, all right. All right, I'll give you that one.
I was 10 years old. We've been marching for 3 days in the flooded jungle of South Sudan. We killed an animal the day before. Each of us was given a piece of meat to carry. We did not find any dry place to barbecue that meat. We ended up eating the raw meat. I got really sick to my stomach. I had a diarrhea that I could not control. I started dragging myself behind the line until I could not see the group anymore, and I sat under the tree. was water to my chest, and I waited.
You just dropped back from the rest of the group and waited? What were you waiting for?
I was thinking of killing myself if the group disappeared.
10 years old? You wanted to kill yourself? What happened?
My cousin, who actually was in a group, realized that I was not there. He came back looking for me. He searched for me and he found me. He sat right beside me and he asked me so many questions, some of whom I did not answer. But he persisted that what was wrong with me. Eventually I told him that I was sick. I could not walk anymore, I could not make it. And he told me, we left the village together. We should go back to the village together, dead or alive. I would not have courage to tell your parent that I left you under the tree alive. My initial idea was not to be burdened to anyone. But now my cousin is sitting here, and I am burdened to him. The group is distancing themselves. So both of us stand up, and we start marching until we reach the group.
10 years old, and you were ready to die.
I was, suddenly.
Do you ever feel that way now?
Every time and then, 30 years later, I still have nightmare, dream about war zone. Sometimes I scream at night. My wife will tell me, honey, you were crying. Even last night.
How long were you a soldier?
A couple of years. And then the rebel movement sent me to Cuba for education.
What? Wait, they sent you for education? I thought they just wanted to throw you under the bus, throw you on the front lines and be a meat shield. They sent you for education?
Yes.
Why?
They have a vision. The movement had a vision. Should one day the war is over and the independence of South Sudan is realized, they were looking for people to come and rebuild the nation. Leaders who can lead that country. I was among those leaders of the future.
Why would you claim refugee status?
The war was still going on in South Sudan. Many people have died already. I didn't want to go back to the war. A couple of friends of mine has claimed refugee status before. They was granted right to come to Canada. And they told me they was reconnected with their family. And they could even have their family back home. So I claimed refugee status in Cuba and applied to come to Canada so that I can also help my family or be reconnected with them.
You couldn't connect to them from Cuba?
Impossible. Impossible. Cuba was closed. There was no communication.
Huh. All right. So then you come to Canada, all right? And this is my point. Like I was saying, you come here, you get free housing, you're getting free government subsidies, you're getting all this free stuff right on the Canadian taxpayer, right?
Not quite. Every immigrant that comes to this country, whether you're a refugee or you're a migrant, you must pay back the government. You must work 2 to 3 jobs to put food on the table for your family. Many of us are educated. I am a nurse myself, but we end up being the taxi drivers. We end up cleaning up. My first job was a sanitation, cleaning up.
You were
so
a
that I can help
nurse
my
and you
family.
were like cleaning?
That's what happened. We have right, and we're Canadian.
Dual citizenship, or how does that work?
No. First of all, I was a Canadian before I became South Sudanese.
What? No, you came from Sudan. How could you be a Canadian first?
I did not exist in South Sudan. That's why I told you I choose to die with dignity. I took arm to fight so that I become a citizen of that country. But when I came to Canada, I wrote a test and become Canadian, just like you.
So you had to fight to be a Sudanese citizen, even though that's where you're born, and then you come to Canada and you write a test and you're a Canadian citizen.
It's a great country, and there are rights and responsibility, which I can fulfill.
What rights and responsibilities? What does that mean?
I have a right to vote.
Uh-huh.
I have a right to protect the right of others, just like I protect yours, the freedom of speech. That partly responsibility as well. I have to pay taxes so that those who cannot help themselves, they help themselves, so that my kid can go to school. Other responsibilities is the freedom of speech and the Charter of Rights granted that to everyone. This is a migrant country. We all come from somewhere.
Yeah, I just assumed that all of you people came here with citizenship somewhere already.
You keep saying you old people. Do you know how much that is discriminatory?
What do you mean?
I was one in a convenience store trying to find a product that I did not know where it was. The employee of that store would follow me around, look at me, and told me, "You people, I know what you're going to do in this store." She accuses me of stealing simply because I look different.
Huh.
So that was hurt me a lot.
But you were a soldier. How does getting somebody calling you some names in a store even come close to, being a soldier? I mean, you got to see a lot worse stuff doing that.
Being a soldier, you see a lot of things, including death. We don't think about it because death is there. You either get killed or kill someone. Being looked down upon is like someone struck your soul, step on it, and step on your dignity. And I fought in my own country to gain that dignity. Canada promised me that I will have that dignity. I can't allow anyone to step on it here. Not on me, not on you, not on anyone.
Huh. I
So
guess,
it's hurt when your dignity has been stepped on. You better die.
So we haven't treated you very well?
Not quite. Remember? I was first a Canadian, then a South Sudanese. Canada has given me a lot of things. Canada has given me the freedom of a speech, the right to be here, the freedom that I can have a dialogue with you, a stranger. One more thing. For me to be sitting here today telling my story, there are people behind it, Canadian. Friend of mine, countrymen brothers.
Mm-hmm.
They took me in just like their family. I was reluctant to say my story. One lady stood behind me. For the last 10 years, I was thinking that my story was not valuable to anyone. Canada has a lot of resources, did not need me. But that lady reminded me that your story is good. You can tell it. And because of her, Jan Underwood, I'm here today. She is the lady that is trying to change Central Alberta to make the welcoming community. Central Alberta is a better place today because of people like Jan Underwood and many other people that are sitting here in this audience. The guy who stood up there, the one who could not even call him you, is full of good things. Just one bad apple cannot swallow out from this earth. So Canada is great.
Wow. Well, now I feel kind of bad because I interrupted some play that you guys had going on. Is there anything else that you want to share?
I have a poem that was written by Elena, my friend. Would you like to read it? It's captured all the things, all the struggle I've been going through. Probably will cover yours too.
All right. Not much of an actor.
My poem.
All right. All right. Death Like a Blessing, Elena Rousseau. Injured and hurting, we walk on and on, hopelessly stuck in mayhem and quagmire. Constricting in waves, the chaos locks us in its besieging coils of sorrow and despair. You answer me, what does God see of all this hatred on earth? Marching on blistered feet, we fight the pain that mercilessly bites the crippled limbs, throbbing like broken wings of an angel. The reason, overtaken by shock and confusion, we fear, we march in circles. We don't know what's ahead from dawn to dusk, frontward and rearward, twist all our ways into a labyrinth of terror. You answer me. What beast has us in its infernal claws and drags us through the grime? What famished fiend feeds on our weary blood, on our tortured souls? Discarded waste of battlefield, severed limbs adrift, float on the stream of rotting corpses. Our dead is sent afloat on a hideous watery ride. The river's flow has turned into a sliding cemetery. Sludge, slime, and scum crust the camp's earth, frothing the greasy waters with putrid human dredges, oozing through the land's wounds. You answer me, what monstrous guise spawns slaughter, until battered and aching and blind, we pray that death should cradle us to sleep and end our suffering, until we look at death and crave it like a welcomed blessing. You know what? No man should have to endure this.
I agree.
Why are you smiling?
We did this the traditional handshake of South Sudan. When you shake, tap your shoulder, and hand up in handshake, it means somebody nearby your village and is your friend. So we go like this, and like this,
All right.
follows a hug. So you're my friend.
All right.